Hey guys, so we just got back from one of our yearly group trips. This year it was to Romblon and it was crazy. We did a week of diving with 14 people in the group with Sunset Cove there in Romblon, and it was awesome. The resort is beautiful, nice pool, white sand beaches, 2-to-1 when it comes to guides and divers, and they really cater to photographers. But most importantly, the diving was insane because we saw so many rare species that I've never seen before. Some of the coolest stuff I've seen in my life, which you're about to see in this video. Of course, we did a group trip last year to Romblon and it was awesome. And this year I brought a list of even more rare, hard to find species that I wanted to see, and our guides really delivered. So I was so happy. You guys, I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. It's more of a documentary of most of the stuff we've seen on this week-long trip. Before I get into it, if you want to join our next year's Romblon group trip, it's going to be probably in May, I think. I haven't started planning it yet, but people are already getting on the list. Get your name on the list. There's limited spots, but I will say it is not one to miss. It's an insane trip. If you're, especially if you love these rare species of stuff that you can't see anywhere else on the planet, you either need to come to Darwin or Romblon. So anyways, while I'm at it, before we get going, I might as well promote my book. So my book is coming out sometime this month, within a month of me publishing this video, so maybe now, depending on when you're watching it. But it's called Nudibranchs of the Philippines, and it's like 3 years of work that I put in. Me and my dive buddy were just searching thousands of hours underwater to get as many species as possible for the book. I think we have about 460 different species. Many have never been documented, at least half of them undescribed by science. It's an amazing book, I'm telling you right now. It's at the printing place right now. It's going to be available soon. I'm going to put the link down below for both our next year's group trip and my book, so you can get on a waiting list or something. Yeah, anyways, let's get into the video because this was one of the best trips we've done. A candy crab is a great way to kick off a critter documentary, and this is a beauty. These guys make an appearance on many of my dives, and I'm always glad to see them. There's going to be lots of nudibranchs in this video, in case you were wondering. One of the things I love about diving in Romblon is that you never know what you're going to find hiding among the algae and rubble. At first glance, this might look like a tiny strand of seaweed, but it's actually one of Earth's smallest pipefish. Closely related to seahorses, these delicate little fish rely on staying perfectly still and blending into their surroundings to avoid predators. Few creatures capture the imagination quite like the Limbe sea dragon. Despite its mythical name, this extraordinary animal is actually a highly specialized species of pipefish and one of the rarest critters I've ever encountered. If you're thinking that this little guy must be nearly impossible to find in the seas, you're right. The Limbe sea dragon more closely resembles a single hair than a fish, but if you're able to catch it on camera, it's a big accomplishment. At first glance, Stillinger ornatus hardly looks like an animal at all. Barely larger than a grain of rice, This tiny sap-sucking sea slug spends its life grazing on algae, blending perfectly into its surroundings. Like many of its relatives, it can steal chloroplast from the algae it eats, allowing it to harness the power of sunlight. I had one hope for my time here in Romblon, and that was to find some species that I'd never found or filmed before anywhere else. And this odd-looking cactus shrimp was helping me do just that. A dive is more exciting when you get to see something new. Dragon shrimp live their days on wispy whip corals flapping around in the currents. Where they are not the smallest crustaceans you're going to see in this documentary, there are a few different colorations of them that you'll see later, all as interesting and unique as the next. Here's one of the smallest seahorses you'll ever see. We see a lot of them on this trip. Unlike other pygmy seahorses you'll find, this species is not found on the typical Gorgonian sea fans, but rather are out amongst rocks and substrate. I was pretty surprised about how many of these winged pipe horses we ran into this week, as they are much more rare occurrences in Darwin. They sure are cool looking though. When I was planning for Romblon, one of my goals was to find as many color variations of sashimi shrimp as I could to add to my portfolio. These guys are about the size of a grain of rice, and Romblon is known for having lots of them, if you're able to spot them. These humpback shrimp are not sashimi shrimp, although about the same size. They are pretty difficult to find, as you can imagine, considering that amazing camouflage they developed. Of course, when you dive in Romblon, you can expect loads of rare crustaceans and pipefish, all of which we cover in this video. But let's not forget that there are countless nudibranch species here, all of which are awesome to witness in person. Algae shrimp and hairy shrimp have always been my nemesis when it comes to filming, just because of how small they are, as well as the fact that they never hold still for long. It's kind of like floating in space with a heavy camera, trying to get a shot of a piece of dust. My goal on this trip was to find and document different species of hairy shrimp, and I was lucky enough to do just that. sea hares are a pretty common occurrence most places I go in the Philippines, but this exact species had yet to be photographed and added to my book that I'm publishing this month, so I took a few minutes to get some shots. I love how anywhere you dive in the Philippines, you see different species than before. They might not necessarily be rare, but just seen more in one spot than another. This makes it more exciting all over again each time I go somewhere I haven't been. These Denise's pygmy seahorses are a lot smaller than the already tiny one we saw earlier in the video, and they are the type to always be found on the giant Gorgonian fans. At least when you know what their homes look like, it makes it a little easier to find. This tattoo shrimp is on my top 100 list of critters to find in the Philippines, so my guide took me to some to film. These guys are unique looking, and I have never seen them anywhere else. I also love filming strange behaviors, and when you see where this guy likes to hide, I think you might think it's as funny as I did the first time I saw it. This must be one of the rarest pipefish in the Philippines, and I was very happy to be able to film it, although it was a challenge. He's about the size of the lead inside a number 2 pencil and constantly on the move. It's amazing that my guides can even find these things, but at least I can check another rare pipefish species from my list. These pughead pipefishes are more the size of the whole pencil and are very uncooperative, making it hard to get a face shot on camera as they hide behind those coral polyps. I told you before that I was going to look for different sashimi shrimp on this trip, and it's the same thing with these tiny gall crabs. They come in many varieties, and I want to film as many as I can. Remember the green dragon shrimp from earlier? Well, here's the red dragon, of which I've never seen. These guys live on black corals instead of the whip corals of their cousins. Of course, the butterfly nudie is a staple find in Romblon and a big reason people come here. Divers from all over the world love Circe species, and these butterfly types are among the most beautiful and most rare. Oddly, on the same dive site, we ran into many different Circe species. Whenever someone said they wanted to see one, this is where we went. Keep in mind that these guys are about 1/4 inch in length each. When you look closely at these inflated serrata on their back, you can see how alien-like the species is. Those serrata help absorb oxygen and help it breathe. And if a predator bites one, it can detach, just like a lizard's tail. Philodelphia nudibranchs are going to make a big appearance in this documentary, as Romblon is known for being home to quite a few different species of them. And they are true masters of mimicry and camouflage. For my second gall crab of the trip, I ran into this pinkish white guy. Now these dudes live on certain hard corals and are generally about half the size of a grain of rice, making them both hard to spot and to film. Nevertheless, I finally got a shot. I saw photos of these chocolate shrimp online and I really wanted to film one. I've never seen them anywhere else, so for the first time getting a shot, these guys are a welcome addition to my portfolio. If you look close, you can even see his heart beating. For my third gall crab, I got the camera set up on a tripod and just let it roll. I'm always curious about what sort of thing the macro universe gets up to, and now we know. In this case, it's all about eating. This was actually the biggest gall crab of the trip, as you can see when I used the golf ball for a reference. In contrast, gall crab number 4 was the smallest, at about half the size. It wasn't in a great spot for a tripod, but I was able to get a few seconds of film. I told you I wanted to document some of the world's rarest pipefish on this trip, and here was another from my list. This guy lives in pulsing xenia with its own patterns developing to closely mimic its host. It took a while of sitting on the tripod aimed at a ball of xenia about the size of a tennis ball, but eventually I got a shot as he came out near the lens. Just look at those matching patterns. As I do whenever I can remember to, I set up the golf ball to use as a size comparison. And you can see these guys are quite tiny. Of course, I've seen many velvet ghost pipes before, but I've never seen one in such a brilliant red. So I obviously had to take a minute and get it on camera. Right next to that velvet was this rough snout ghost pipefish, and more lately I've been seeing these two species together. I have no idea why, but it's another interesting mystery of the deep. Now, this Japanese dragon shrimp was on my list of things to film on this trip, but sadly, the only one I saw was in very rough conditions. It was on a steep slope with a strong current, and I just could not get my camera set right to film something quality. Regardless, I was still happy to find my first of its kind. These Ubranchus nudibranchs, living on their stinging hydroids, are always beautiful if you can get a close-up. They always seem to be laying eggs, and if you look close, you can see them among the hydroid stems. This might look like just another random shrimp holding its eggs under its tail, but it's such a brilliant shade of red that I had to set up the camera and watch it for a while. I always love observing strange behaviors of things I've never seen before. I know what you're thinking, this nudie is pretty common, especially for this documentary. Well, sometimes a good shot is a good shot, and certain things shouldn't be passed up. This is the third species of hairy shrimp that I'm able to film so far, and a very rare one that I've never seen. These things are the size of a grain of rice, look like a ball of lint, and live among the seagrass, making them hard to find at all. So far, my guides are batting 1,000 because whenever I show them the next thing on my list, they know where to look and have so far always delivered. Here you can see the size comparison. He's about the size of one of those dimples on the golf ball. Here's yet another Philodecium species who is great at hiding and a big target for underwater photographers. However, this next nudibranch species gets people to visit him from all over the globe. Believe it or not, yes, this is a nudibranch. He's one of the most unique in the world and one of the most sought after. In Romblon, they're quite common. The skeleton melibi, as they are commonly called, are still complex animals with working organs and nervous systems, unlike a simple flatworm. However, their bodies are primarily transparent with white ribbon-like patterns that resemble a skeleton. It makes them true experts of camouflage and one of the most intriguing creatures you'll ever find on the seafloor. As I was filming this common pipefish, an octopus popped out and skittered by. At first I ignored it, thinking it a very common algae octopus, but something made me get a few shots. I'm glad I did, as it turned out to be a mosaic octopus, one of the rarest cephalopods in the Philippines. This particular species of nudibranch is not that common in Darwin and other places that I've dove, but here in Romblon, they're on every site. This guy was pretty big and is in the same family as that last nudie, but is one I've never seen before. Another one of my goals for this trip was to finally be able to finish my book that I'm writing, called Nudibranch of the Philippines, by adding a few more species that have yet to be added. On this trip, I was able to add at least 5 new species to the book, and I hope to have it ready to sell this month. At the end of the year, I'm hoping to finish my book about crustaceans of the Philippines as well, and these sashimi shrimp will be an awesome addition to that. Yet another hairy shrimp from the list, and a cool one. Compared to the other ones I've seen so far, this one is less hairy, more geometrically shaped maybe, with more discernible features. So I was very happy to get this species on camera for my first time. I've seen many cryptic shrimp in my day, and I love them all. As you can probably tell, I'm always fascinated by marine species that can master such good camouflage abilities. Take a look at the smallest pipefish that I've ever seen, even smaller than that limbe sea dragon, the lens pipefish. Of course, this is not the first one I've seen in this documentary, but I just can't get over how awesome they are. Them being so small, most of the planet has never and will never see this species in person. It adds an extra layer of excitement when I get to show my finds to the world. Nope, this is not the same pipefish as we've seen before, whom was also living amongst the pulsing xenia. That one was a spotted variety, while this one the lined, so I get to cross two separate species from my list. Romblon has no end to fascinating marine species, and it is my hope that somewhere in the last 40 minutes, you are able to see something that you have never seen before. Either way, if you want to join one of our future group trips, let me know. Also, be sure to get my book, Nudibranchs of the Philippines, which will be out soon, if it's not out already when you're watching this. Many of the species from this documentary even found their way into the book, and you can find it in the link in the description below.